Hello, everyone. I'm Laura Barat from laurabaratastrologer.com, and I'm a tropical Vedic astrologer and Cards of Truth reader. If you're interested in any of those services, please visit my website that I have down in the description. Okay, so today I am discussing the Drekkana Varga chart, also known as the third harmonic, and it's known as the Decans in Western astrology. And this is an extremely important chart. And it is the Varga, or the divisional chart of the third house, or the third Bhava. And this chart shows our will, how we use our will, how we get along with our relations, and how we use our will in relationship to the people in our life, our associates. And it is the Varga, or chart of siblings, but it shows happiness with siblings, not the siblings' life. For seeing that, it's something different. If you want to see the life of your siblings, you would look, like if you wanted to see their career, you would look at that third house cusp in the D10 or the Dashamsha. If you wanted to see your siblings' health, you would look at the third house cusp in the D30 or the Trim Shamsha. And of course, if it's your oldest sibling, you want to look at that 11th house cusp, because the 11th house cusp indicates the eldest sibling. Okay, so that's how you look at other people, the aspects of of their lives in your Varga charts. But this Drekkana, it shows your happiness with siblings, and as an extension of that, it shows the happiness with your relations in general. And it makes you either very socially capable or not very socially capable, meaning you don't get along with anybody. Or there are some people that you do get along with, and then there's others that you don't. And this chart will show the relations that you do get along with. For example, if the moon is very well disposed, in good dignity in that Drekkana chart, then you will get along with your mother, or you'll have a better relationship with her. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's not some underlying negative feelings about any of these people, but you tend to get along with them better. You're productive together, okay? And then you would look at the fourth house cusp in that Drekkana to see if it's well disposed, its Lord is well disposed. That will also show you the relationship with your mother. And then, of course, the 10th house cusp and the sun for the relationship with your father. And Mars. Mars is the most important planet in this chart, because not only does Mars indicate the siblings, but it also indicates how we use our will, and if we use it in a productive way that usually benefits all our relations around us and helps us to be productive with our relations, or if we use it in an unproductive way or in a selfish way where we only are considering the benefits to ourselves and not caring if it hurts any of our relations around us. And if you see a lot of planets in bad dignity or suffering from bad logitati avastas, what those are is basically whether the planet is getting help from his friends or enemies. If he's getting a lot of help from his friends, then he is a well-disposed planet and he can perform well. So you look at these planets in the Drekkana to see which ones are strong and which ones are having some trouble. And that's going to show you more or less the types of people you're going to get along with, and using those planets in a way that helps you to get along with others and makes you ingratiates yourself with others. Or if you are having negative relations and causing some negativity, or causing situations where you're the only one that benefits and other people become resentful. Okay, so it's a very important chart in showing relationships with other people. And the first relationships we usually form that are peer-based or associate-based are with our siblings, growing up with our siblings. So that's why That's why it's usually the chart of siblings. So if you're an only child, the first relations usually are your parents, of course, but as for peers, for people that you need to work with and be productive with and get along with, so everything can be harmonious, are, your play dates, your friends, when you go to preschool or things like that. That's what socializes you. That's what you learn, how to navigate the world of manners and using your will and showing your individuality with others without causing resentment, hatred, all of those types of things. So the way the Drekkana is calculated, if it's very easy. If a planet occupies the first 10 degrees of a sign, that planet remains in that sign. If it occupies from 10 to 20 degrees, that planet goes to the 5th sign from that sign. And if it occupies from 20 to 30 degrees, it goes to the 9th sign from that sign. So pretty easy, right? And there's also 3 deities of the Drekkana. And the first one is Narada, which is the creative principle. And that is planets in Narada, which are planets in the first 10 degrees, usually they use their will to create things. It's a creative will, and they create new opportunities in regards or in relation to the planet's meanings in those first 10 degrees. And the second 10 degrees is Agastya. So from 10 to 20 degrees, the planet is ruled by Agastya, which is the maintenance or maintaining or the sustenance, sustaining will. And those planets you use to maintain stable situations and also to maintain order. And that is basically related to Vishnu, the preserver, and Narada is related to Brahma, the creator. And the last deity is Durvasa, which is related to Shiva, which is the destructive principle. And these planets you use to destroy, basically, but destroy things that are no longer needed, that are getting in the way of growth, and to make way for something better to come along. Okay, so that's how you would look at those planets in the different Drekkanas and ruled over by the different deities. And so planets that are in good dignity, have good Lajatati Avestas, and ruled by the Narada deity, or in between 0 and 10 degrees, those planets you use to create situations where everyone can benefit. Because remember, this Varga has to do with relations. The Drekkana has to do with relationships with other people, everybody in your life, people that you associate with, your associates, not just your siblings, okay? And then planets that are in negative or bad deity, or do not, or have bad Lajatati Avestas, these planets you create challenging situations. You create situations where there's going to be some resentment. There's going to be some animosity, and you make enemies, quote unquote, because the 6th house is actually an important house in this Varga. The most important, of course, is the 3rd, but the 6th is also very important because if you add up numbers 1, 2, and 3, you get 6. And so it's the numerology of it. So the 6th house, or the 6th Bhava Cusp, becomes incredibly important in this Varga. And 6th house are enemies. So if these planets are harmed and in this Drekkana, then however you use them is going to cause some problems with other people, okay? And that's why this Varga is so important, because either you create situations that you can be productive with others and others will welcome you and like you and give you opportunities, or you create the opposite and people will walk away or just try to stay away from you. Okay, so if you see bad planets in the Drekkana and you're running a dasha or you're running a period of one of those planets, you might want to do some remedies for that planet. And I usually recommend mantras. Those work extremely well. So mantras, you can do charity, you can fast on that day, whatever that planet, the day that planet rules, or give in charity or give your time to whatever that planet rules, okay? And if you have planets in bad dignity or bad logitati avestas, and they're from 10 to 20 degrees, or they're in the Agastya or ruled by the Agastya deity, which maintains and stabilizes situations, then you maintain a situation that is detrimental to your relationships with others. That planet, in regards to its indications, will sustain something that isn't good for anybody except the native or that person. Okay? And then the last one, of course, is Durvasa, and that's the destructive will. So planets in Durvasa, if they're in bad dignity or bad logitati avestas, those planets are going to destroy things that you will either want to keep in your life or that other people would want to keep in relation to you. Or you destroy things in a way that causes a lot of discord and animosity, like I was saying before, okay? And the most important planet, of course, is Mars, as I mentioned. And Mars is a planet of hunger and need. That Mars is the fire element. He rules over the fire element that causes hunger. And so it makes us hungry for things that we have to go out and pursue to become satiated. And that's basically the gist of Mars. That's the underlying foundation of his existence, ruling that fire element. Fire dries things out, so we need Venus, which is the water element, to fill us back up and to satiate us, to comfort us. So Mars ruling this Varga shows where we put our willpower to get what we think we need or what we think the ego needs, and how we use that willpower to get it. Some people are like a bull in a china shop, right? When they're trying to get something, they step on toes, they knock things over, people become resentful. You're going to see this in that D3 or Drekkana chart, or the Decans, as they say in the Western astrology. People who have a good Drekkana are able to navigate relationships effectively and actually have people feel really good about the way they go about getting what they want. Okay, I just saw in the news today, it just came across the news in my mind, and I was thinking about it a little bit as this Harvey Weinstein situation, and he just got convicted. But he's an example probably of someone who goes about getting what he wants in a way that is very destructive and causes a lot of discord and animosity. All right, so that's kind of an example. I haven't seen his chart, but I just thought about that off the top of my head. And then, so the third Bhava, you want to look at the third Bhava Cusp and its Lord to see, this is also a very important planet in Bhava Cusp in that Drekkana. And you'll want to look at the sixth, of course, as I mentioned before. And then, of course, the ninth house. The ninth house, or 3 squared is 9, so 9 becomes a very important Bhava Cusp in this Varga. And in the ninth, you see if the person is creating grace and luck through their actions, if they're creating things that will inspire others, and thus they can be very productive with others, or if they're not creating any inspiration at all, they're just causing a lot of sadness or disapproval of their actions. Okay, and then I just wanted to mention too they actually have some descriptions of all the different Drekkanas in the Yavana Jataka and also Brihat Jataka. And those are actually quite accurate. Okay, it's very much like sign descriptions. You know, when you're looking at your sign description of your moon sign or your sun sign or your ascendant, and these are a step above that, or more detailed, a little more detailed. And they actually are pretty accurate, as what I've found. For example, the first Drekkana of Aries, from 0 to 10 degrees Aries, if you have significant identity factors in that first Drekkana of Aries, they say it is a man with an axe, okay? And so that actually means that the person, if you piss them off, if you get them angry, they're going to cut you out of their life. They just cut people out that really go beyond a boundary, okay? Or they have been building up a lot of resentment and they cut those people out. And that's just one example. So if you're interested in seeing or analyzing those Drekkanas for yourself, you can look it up in the Yavana Jataka and the Brihat Jataka. Okay? So, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to. And also the Drekkanas, according to these texts, you've got benefic Drekkanas, malefic Drekkanas, mixed Drekkanas, and then you have water-bearing Drekkanas. The first three are kind of self-explanatory. You know, they're benefic, meaning they're gentle, they're kind, they're nice. They're malefic, they cut you away, or they very quickly, they're very abrupt, they're sharp, it's kind of like the descriptions of the nakshatras. And then also mixed, of course, is a mix of both. But the third one, water-bearing, well, what does that mean? Water-bearing means the person provides, they provide something other people need. Okay, they're very good at seeing what others need and they're able to provide it. That's what a water-bearing Drekkana means. Okay, so if you look at those, or buy one of those books and look at your Drekkana, you can see they're one of those four. Okay, so I believe that is it today for the Drekkana, and thank you for watching. Bye.